Hello, I'm Ben Lefebvre and this is WebCertain TV. Geotargeting is one of the biggest challenges in international SEO, and getting the right version of your website to display to the right audience is the holy grail for global marketers. There can be many factors involved in geotargeting, but one of these is where in the world your website is actually hosted. I'm joined by Martin Asmussen, a hosting specialist who can tell us more about local hosting and why it's important. Martin, what does the term local hosting actually mean?
Well, local hosting means that you host your content locally. You have a web server and you put your web pages and your files onto that server like you do with any hosting, but you host it in the country you're targeting. So it's also known as SEO hosting or international hosting or IP hosting, and it basically means the same thing, that you're hosting your content in the country you're trying to target.
What are the benefits of hosting websites in their target country?
The benefits of hosting your website locally is that the search engine uses a number of factors to determine what pages should appear high up in the search engine result pages. And when it comes to international SEO, you need to look at things like your target language should be on the site, address details, telephone details, and the thing that the search engines also look at is the IP of the hosting server. So if you're hosting your content locally, the search engines see that. It might not be the most important factor, but it is a factor that they look at.
How complicated is it to set up? What are the challenges?
It's not that complicated really. It's the same for any hosting. You have to find a reliable partner. But then you have the added complications of language and cultural barriers. So a number of international hosting companies do actually communicate in English, but for some countries the English is not that good, so it can be an added barrier. And when things go wrong, it can be really difficult to communicate the things with your partner. So it's all about finding a reliable partner who can supply hosting to the specifications that you're after, and you are able to communicate with them.
In which scenarios is local hosting most appropriate? Are there situations where it shouldn't be implemented?
Well, we suggest that you always use local hosting when you are targeting an international audience, but in some cases you might have a content management system that only allows you to work from one server. So there's ways that you can get about that. Then there's also the URL structure that you choose to use. So if you have a website that is www.webcertain.dk, for instance, a local country CLD, it's not a problem. You can local host that with no issues. Then you have the subdomain, so dk.webcertain.com, that you can host locally as well. And then the last option is the subfolder, so webcertain.com/dk. That always sits on the same server as the main domain, so webcertain.com. So in that case, you can't actually local host it if it's important for you to keep the subfolder structure. So you want in your marketing material or for your users, you want the /dk. But if you are happy to work around that, we can do other things with the subfolders. So you can always use local hosting.